Namaskar, Jai Shri Krishna. Corroborating text 1, text 2 and text 3 of chapter 10, Departure of Lord Krishna for Dvaraka of first canto creation of Srimad Bhagavatam. Text 1, Shaunaka Uvacha, Hatva Swari Katha Sprudha Atata Yino Yudhishthiro Dharma Bhutam Varishtaha Sahanu Jaiha Pratya Varuddha Bhojanaha Katham Pravruttaha Kimakarashita Tataha. Shaunak Muni asked, after killing his enemies who desired to usurp his rightful inheritance, how did the greatest of all religious men, Maharaj Yudhishthir, assisted by his brothers, rule his subjects? Surely he could not enjoy freely his kingdom with unrestricted consciousness. Maharaj Yudhishthir was the greatest of all men of religion. Thus he was not at all inclined to fight with his cousins. For the sake of enjoying the kingdom, he fought for the right cause because the kingdom of Hastinapur was his rightful inheritance and his cousins wanted to usurp it for themselves. He fought therefore for the right cause under the guidance of Lord Shri Krishna, but he could not enjoy the results of his victory because his cousins were all killed in the fight. He therefore ruled over the kingdom as a matter of duty, assisted by his younger brothers. The inquiry was important for Shaunak Rishi, who wanted to know about the behavior of Maharaj Yudhishthir when he was at ease to enjoy the kingdom. Text 2. Suta Uvacha Vamashama Kurora Vamashada Vagni Nirarutam Samaroha Yitva Bhava Bhavano Hariha Nivesha Yitva Nijarajya Ishvaro Yudhishthiram Pritamana Babhuva Ha. Suta Goswami said, Lord Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the maintainer of the world, became pleased after re-establishing Maharaj Yudhishthir in his own kingdom and after restoring the Kuru dynasty which had been exhausted by the bamboo fire of anger. This world is compared to a forest fire caused by the cohesion of bamboo bushes. Such a forest fire takes place automatically, for bamboo cohesion occurs without external cause. Similarly, in the material world, the wrath of those who want to lord it over material nature interacts and the fire of war takes place, exhausting the unwanted population. Such fires or wars take place and the Lord has nothing to do with them. But because he wants to maintain the creation, he desires the mass of people to follow the right path of self-realization, which enables the living beings to enter into the kingdom of God. The Lord wants the suffering human beings to come back home, back to him, and cease to suffer the threefold material pangs. The whole program of creation is made in that way, and one who does not come to his senses suffers in the material world by pangs inflicted by the illusory energy of the Lord. The Lord therefore wants his bona fide representative to rule the world. Lord Shri Krishna descended to establish this sort of regime and to kill the unwanted persons who have nothing to do with his plan. The battle of Kurukshetra was fought according to the plan of the Lord so that undesirable persons could get out of the world and a peaceful kingdom under his devotee could be established. The Lord was therefore fully satisfied when King Yudhishthir was on the throne and the seedling of the dynasty of Kuru in the person of Maharaj Parikshit was saved. Text 3. Nishamya Bhishmoktam Thachutoktam Pravritta Vijnana Vidhuta Vibhramaha Shashasa Gamindra Ivajita Shrayaha Paridhyu Panta Manu Janu Vartitaha. Maharaj Yudhishthir, after being enlightened by what was spoken by Bhishma Dev and Lord Shri Krishna the Infallible, engaged himself in matters of perfect knowledge because all his misgivings were eradicated. Thus, he ruled over the earth and seas and was followed by his younger brothers. The modern English law of primogeniture or the law of inheritance by the firstborn was also prevalent in those days when Maharaj Yudhishthir ruled the earth and seas. In those days, the king of Hastinapur, now part of New Delhi, was the emperor of the world, including the seas, up to the time of Maharaj Parikshit, the grandson of Maharaj Yudhishthir. Maharaj Yudhishthir's younger brothers were acting as his ministers or commanders of state, and there was full cooperation among the perfectly religious brothers of the king. Maharaj Yudhishthir was the ideal king or representative of Lord Shri Krishna to rule over the kingdom of earth, and was compared to King Indra, the representative ruler of the heavenly planets. The demigods like Indra, Chandra, Surya, Varun and Vayu are representative kings of different planets of the universe, and similarly Maharaj Yudhishthir was also one of them, ruling over the kingdom of the earth. Maharaj Yudhishthir was not a typical unenlightened political leader of modern democracy. Maharaj Yudhishthir was instructed by Bhishma Dev and the infallible Lord also, and therefore he had full knowledge of everything in perfection. The modern elected executive head of a state is just like a puppet because he has no kingly power. Even if he is enlightened like Maharaj Yudhishthir, he cannot do anything out of his own goodwill due to his constitutional position. Therefore, there are so many states over the earth quarreling because of ideological differences or other selfish motives. But a king like Maharaj Yudhishthir has no ideology of his own. He had but to follow the instructions of the infallible Lord and the Lord's representative and the authorized agent Bhishma Dev. It is instructed in the Shastras that one should follow the great authority and the infallible Lord without any personal motive and manufactured ideology. Therefore, it was possible for Maharaj Yudhishthir to rule the whole world, including the seas, because the principles were infallible and universally applicable to everyone. The conception of one world state can only be fulfilled if we can follow the infallible authority. An imperfect human being cannot create an ideology acceptable to everyone. Only the perfect and the infallible can create a program which is applicable at every place and can be followed by all in the world. It is the person who rules and not the impersonal government. If the person is perfect, the government is perfect. If the person is a fool, the government is a fool's paradise. That is the law of nature. There are so many stories of imperfect kings or executive heads. Therefore, the executive head must be a trained person like Maharaj Yudhishthir, and he must have the full autocratic power to rule over the world. The conception of a world state can take shape only under the regime of a perfect king like Maharaj Yudhishthir. The world was happy in those days because there were kings like Maharaj Yudhishthir to rule over the whole world. Thank you.